Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, once again, it is indeed time to get our talk on. It's Morning Talk with me, your host, J. Stan McCauley, along with the champions of talk. This morning's talk champion, none other than Cleo Duke-Wright. Good morning, Miss Cleo. How are you doing? There we go. I had your mic muted. How are you doing?
I'm doing great today.
There we go.
Thank
Now
you
we
very
can
much.
hear you. Now we can hear you. Operator problem. There we go.
Okay, we're all right now.
We're all right
Okay.
now. We're all right now. How was your week?
Oh, my week was exciting and very, very busy. You know, I went to the bookstore and I looked around and I said, well, how am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so busy. I'm just looking and I'm saying, oh my gosh. You got to show me a way. If there's a way, show it to me, because I'm saying, oh my goodness.
Now
So much.
you said, how are you going to do this? What are we talking about?
We're talking about,
Rearranging your books?
no, I'm talking about actually sitting in the bookstore and opening it up, because, you know, I get this letter that said, we're going to dissolve you if you don't do this, that, and the other thing. So I'm saying, oh my God, I don't, you know, so many things have happened to me, in the last couple of years. I was forced to take down a sign. I was, you know, my son came and my mother says, discombobulated everything. And I'm not in the bookstore. And people say, are you really open? And I say, yes, I still have a bookstore. And then they says, hey, we're not going to. I said, oh my God. So I'm sitting here in total confusion in prayer. I said, all right, whatever happens, happens, because I don't know what to do about that. So we'll see. I don't know what dissolve means.
Well, dissolve means you go to there. Well, you'll be
Out of
non-existent, out of business.
Out of
Yeah.
business. So that's, you know, you work hard for some things, so hard for some things, but you're not good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm kind of pondering on. You know, I'm not good at everything, so get somebody to do it. You know, do this or do that. So I'm where I'm at.
All right.
I'm where I'm at. I'm just where I'm at, and I'm in prayer, and I'm saying, okay. After you pray, what do you do? Lord, direct these feet, direct this mind. Tell me what in the world to do. So, because I really don't want the bookstore to dissolve, but I have absolutely no idea of how to keep it open. I mean, even if that wasn't the case with the state, even if that wasn't the case, how do I keep it open with taking care of my husband and doing all these things? How do I do that?
You could have limited hours. You know, open by appointment only. You know, you could kind of like you wind down a little bit. So maybe you're open 3 days a week.
Oh, goodness.
And put a little ad in the paper that says new hours. Open Mondays from 3:30 to 5 o'clock. Tuesdays from noon to 2, or Wednesday noon to 2, and Fridays from 8 to 10. And and appointment. Yeah, so you're like open 3 days a week, 2 hours. You target maybe school kids.
Yes, something. I don't know what the letter came, and it gives you 3 months to get the thing together, and from the date of the letter, but I got the letter maybe 3 weeks ago, and the date on the letter said August.
The letter was sent in August, or the date that you had to be up and running, so to speak, it was August.
From the date of the letter, and the date on the letter said August something.
Oh, so, I got you. I
said August. Well, why don't you send it to me in August? I don't know. So yeah, I've been kind of frozen. Like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I'm kind of frozen. So it's, of course, my fault. Of course it's my fault for, these little fears that people have that they don't get over. Of course it's my fault. So I have to kind of figure it out.
Well, we had as a special guest, I think here, or maybe it was at the Greater Harvard African American Alliance. I can't remember which. But there was somebody from CORE.
Yeah,
they were here on this program, right?
Right.
And maybe there's an expert, a retail shop from CORE that you could call, and perhaps they could be helpful, telling you, what to do.
Because if it dissolves, then I'll have to open it again. I'll just open it again. Some other way, and not be an LLC. Oh gosh, that was horrible. I'm not be an LLC, but
a DBA.
Yeah, just
doing business as.
Yeah.
Sole proprietor.
Yeah, right. Because I'm sure they can't prevent that. Me opening it up, and I wouldn't call it Cold Books. Because everyone used to say, don't call it Cold Book. I'd have my name in it.
I know you call it the perfect name.
What?
Cleo's Place.
People would know it anyway.
Right.
Yeah, so changing the name of
Cleo's Place, where you can come and get a good cup of coffee and a great story. A good cup of coffee and a better story.
Yes.
Or good story. Good story. Good coffee. Good friends. Cleo's Place.
And I had while I was doing the book, so I had an attitude change. Of course, we're always sharing. I had an attitude change. I was so for, getting black books out to black people, and that was so important to me, for us to know that we contributed to this world, and have our children know that we contributed to this world. And my attitude change was that they needed to know that all of us contributed to this world, including us. So you don't, I didn't feel right in just having black books all of a sudden. I wanted good books and all books, and not just black. My anger had subsided. Okay. I have to say that my anger had subsided a little bit. And when I had programs, people coming in doing programs, and they were so for blacks and so against others, it seemed to me there's something wasn't right with this picture, because it seemed to me that and so negative against other people, and only one, if you could only come to their event if you agreed with them. They made that very clear to me. And then when I sat and listened to them, they had great points, and I agreed with a lot of things that they said, but I couldn't agree with the fact that they were so negative on other races and cultures. And I said, isn't that the same thing? To me, it was the same thing that we had gone through, that so many people have gone through, that I said, I can't do this.
It seems to me that you don't have to be against something to be for something. I think we've come to a place in our society now that in order to be for something, or people have embraced the attitude of, I can't be for something if I'm not against everything else, which is so you're building walls and silos.
But it had to start from you not feeling too good about yourself, because the way you're building up yourself now, you couldn't have felt very good about yourself, or your race, or your culture, or your, if you have to bash everybody else to feel good about who you are. I don't want to feel good about myself because I'm bashing you. I want to feel good about me, my culture, my family, my ancestry. I want to feel good about all of that, and love all of who I am, and embrace all of who I am. And I don't want to do that by disliking you or hating you, or I don't want to do that like that.
I would agree. Clearly one doesn't have to. I think a lot of people choose to, though. They cancel out everyone else that isn't in agreement with them. Like, if you don't agree with me, we'll cancel you.
Yeah.
Burn your books, burn anything that one doesn't agree with. Just eliminate. It's you make an unperson. Did you I'm sure you probably read the book. I know I have not read the book. I'm not an avid reader, sad to say. But I saw the movie. I love movies. I watch a movie every day.
I love movies too.
And then sometimes it takes me more time to find a good movie than the length of the movie. It's just getting harder and harder. But George Orwell's 1984.
Oh, I did. Many years ago, I did read that.
Yes, I'm sure you read the book. I knew you read the book. But did you ever see the movie? Of course, the book is far better than the movie.
No, I have never seen the movie.
Okay, so then the book is far better. But you become an unperson. They make you into an unperson, and it's not even that you've been canceled. You never existed. You're written out of existence, not history. Existence.
Yes.
Your name never ever.
It was a scary book. I remember being very.
I remember
being. The book made me very nervous, very scared. And as the years passed, and as time went on, I kind of saw it coming to fruition very slowly, that it was happening.
Yes.
What was in the book was actually happening.
Yes.
And it's, it's here.
It is absolutely here.
It's here. Yes.
It is here. We are experiencing that now. Everything, the ministry of truth is alive and well. So, there are these people who sit in these ivory towers determining what's acceptable. And I guess ultimately it's either what's acceptable to them or what they believe you should be. So they are writing the narratives for you in the music, in the commercials, in the things you hear on the radio, in the billboards that you see on the highway, inside the mall, inside the supermarket. They control the newspapers and the narratives at which you consume stuff. So depending upon where you are in a region of the country or the world, there's a whole mix of information that's put together for you and served up. And if you don't buy into that narrative, then you're considered, an outlier, a denier of truth. And the truth has become, truth is not subjective, but it has become subjective.
What is true today is not true tomorrow. It may not be true tonight.
Right. And that's very right. And that should be totally, because the statement makes no sense. But we've processed that line of thought to make a nonsensical statement true.
Yes. And if we keep on listening to the nonsense, to having other people justify you have to do this to be justified. You have to be that to be justified. We're gonna, and we are becoming an insane world.
Yes,
we're insane.
Yes,
and I'm saying, Lord, let me go and open my Bible and see what the real truth is. Because, and then when you read the Bible and see and feel what the real truth is, then you're scared. Then you say, "Oh my goodness, I'm in a real. What do I do? What do I do?" But in one place, what is in the morning is still going to be at night, and still going to be next year, and still going to be 10 years from now. But in the other place, it's this way today, but it may not be this way tomorrow, and it definitely, probably will not be the same way next year. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
That is, yeah. It's as though you hit. I believe you hit the nail right on the head. It's as though you're living in an asylum.
Yeah. We're in it.
You if somebody says they see a brown cow flying down the hallway, you better buy into it.
That's right.
I see your brown cow. Yes, I see it.
The king's new
let's hide from
That's
it.
right.
Everyone's running from a cow that doesn't exist, but you've turned this thing that isn't so to make it so.
You make it so.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Absolutely.
It's crazy, and we're
crazy.
And we're gonna get more crazy if we don't stop.
Right.
We got until we go so far we cannot stop. We can stop now and say, "This is crazy. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let's do something else for a little bit. We can change this thing around." Actually, the people in power are the people, and they really can change it if they got together.
Yeah.
If the people said enough, it would go away.
Mm-hmm.
But the people are in this, in this controlled thing. Like you say, the billboards, the movies. Movies are ridiculous now. They're totally ridiculous. How could we sit there and let our children watch what is on television and watch what is on, there's what? Netflix has how many thousands of millions of movies, and all of these things and most of them that I've seen, maybe there's some that are either so violent I could hardly watch them, or so nicey that they're sickening. so nicey, so unreal nothing in them that challenges you as a person. Nothing. And then you got the other side. When we were coming up, women didn't kill people all. You might have a movie or two, but women weren't out there like men. Now,
right.
Women are out there just like men, doing the same things that men are doing, and doing in the movies, doing the killing and this and that, the same. And I'm saying, wow, we gotta, too much.
Yeah, everything has become quite blurred in terms of everything has become situational. The ethics is
That's
situational. Right. It's very subjective, and the truth has become situational. And so it's it's convenient. Whatever is the most convenient is what is.
Right. What does the family look like today?
A family looks like whatever we say the family looks like. And if you can almost get in trouble for asking that question. What do you mean? What does the family look like? I know what my family looks like. Maybe your family, so everyone's family's a little bit different. So now you redefine what a family is.
I'm just saying, what does the family look like? I'm not saying you got to tell me. I'm asking the question, mm-hmm. and everyone answers that question for themselves. What does the family look like? And where does and where does love come in? That we see all this stuff all the time, but we rarely see that word.
Well, that's another interesting point, because what is things have to be defined. There has to be like, what is an inch? We all, there's a standard. What is a meter or a millimeter or a foot? What is a pound? What is an ounce? Now, if we start changing all that around to whatever we say it is, a gallon of gasoline is a very specific quantity. So if you go to the station and ask the guy, well, how much is gasoline a gallon? Well, it's $6 a gallon. All right. Well, how many ounces is in your gallon? Well, our gallons are set at 16 ounces. Well, that's not a gallon. Well, it's what we call a gallon. Well, that doesn't make any sense. We've done that we've taken away all of the standards in places where the standards actually do matter. And so if you challenge the new thought, the new definitions of things, then you become an unperson, a non-person. They would prefer that you need to be dealt with. And that's a very dangerous place to be.
Somebody got to get there.
That's a dangerous place, because, then who gets to make all these decisions as to who has worth and value and who doesn't have worth and value?
Some things are just, a gallon is a gallon. A gallon is a gallon, whether you call it 16 ounces or what. That is not a gallon. And if everybody believes it's a gallon, or the most people believe it's a gallon, some people remember what a gallon is.
Right. Well, we used to know. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this. But
you open a book and it will tell you what a gallon is. It's not going to say 16 ounces is a gallon.
Right.
It's going to say what a gallon is. So, what are we doing? Because the books have not changed. You still look it up and it's still there. Mm-hmm. What, 64 ounces?
In a gallon.
64 ounces in a gallon. So you can't make it 16.
Well, what is a woman?
What is a woman? Is a woman is a woman. Men.
What is a man? Now, there's a whole hot mess and controversy around.
A man is a man. They can say whatever they want. A man is a man, and people don't make people. People don't. Cats don't make cats. Dogs don't make dogs, and people don't make people. If you're a man, you're a man. Mm-hmm. Now you want to pretend that you're a woman. They want to make some laws that says you're a woman. Oh, go ahead. But still, a man is a man. They can change whatever physically part that they want to change on you. You're still a man. How could you not be a man? People don't make people. They could just change this and that and the other thing. But a man's a man, a woman's a woman. You can act whatever you want to act. You can, two men together, two women together, you can do whatever you want to do. Marriage brings forth children. Period. Mm-hmm. Marriage brings forth children. Now you're going to tell me, no, call it something else. Why can't you call it something else? Why you got to call it marriage? Call it something else, because it doesn't make sense. I know my cousins and people that I love will be mad at me, but live any way you want to live.
Absolutely.
But you cannot make yourself a man, and you cannot make yourself a woman no matter what you do. Thank God there's a God in heaven, because you cannot do it. No animal makes itself. No animal makes itself. So how are you going to do it?
It's Morning Talk. We will continue. It's the morning show with myself, Jason McCauley, and Cleo Duke-Wright. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Independent thinkers are Puerto Rican, Mexican, Peruvian, Indian, Bosnian, Italian, Irish, Jamaican, African American, European, straight, gay, Nigerian, transgender, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, short, tall, skinny, rich, poor, happy, sad. Some of us hold a PhD and others a GED. And though we may be Democrats, Republicans, or members of the Working Families Party, we all have escaped the plantation of party politics and become independent thinkers, because we as individuals are more than a party. You see, independent thinkers come from all walks of life. And the one thing we all have in common is that we love, live, laugh, and learn in the city of Hartford. We are the constituents, and the government of Hartford belongs to us. My name is J. Stan McCauley. I'm an independent thinker, and I approve this message because it's time to stop towing the party line and vote for a candidate you can trust. You too can escape the plantation of party politics if you have the courage to free your political mind.
Hi, so my name is Nelky Maldonado.
My name is Ramon L. Arroyo.
And we know that Hartford Parent University provides good services and resources to parents in our communities, which are greatly needed, because a lot of times our parents, they don't know where to go, how to get information, and being part of this program is essential to them in being successful in their children's education.
And I think that parents should get involved in their kids' education, because it's very important. Education is, I always believe, is a success in life. If you got a good education, you can be very successful.
So we encourage our parents to please come join the program, ask lots of questions, and I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed.
Hi,
My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, welcome back. It's Morning Talk. Me, your host, J. Stan McCauley, along with the champions of talk. Today we have talk champion in the house, none other than Cleo Duke-Wright. So, welcome back. Talking about the nation, I guess the nation. I'll say the nation. I can't speak for the world. I really can't speak for the nation. But it would seem that we're collectively losing our mind. We've taken all of the guardrails and standards in the society away. Pull your mic up there. We've taken them all away. And so it's like anything goes. And if you challenge these actions, you become an unperson. And that's the ultimate
ignored. I know how it is to be ignored.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're not going the same way the majority is going. So you all of a sudden are left out of things, and no one calls you, and you're ignored. So when you decide that you're going to use your mind, and you're going to use it the way you use it, and make your own decisions, just be aware that that'll probably happen.
You know,
just keep stepping. Just keep on stepping. That's, it'll probably happen to you if you decide that you don't want to be some kind of puppet or person who just follows along to get along.
Another thing occurred to me as an analogy, or it's like rules of the road. Universally accepted. When people don't abide by those rules, there's utter and absolute chaos, and most times someone gets hurt very, very badly or gets killed with like wrong way driver. Someone runs a red light, plows through an intersection while there's people in it. There are rules to the road. You cannot just drive any old way you want, at whatever speed you want, whenever you want, and be disregarded. If this is a one-way street, so what? Who are the people? Who the people? The people that made the directions and the rules for the roads. We need to get rid of them and the rules. And so, I'm going to do it the way I want. My reality. You can't impose your reality. Well, let me rephrase that. When you impose your reality on the rules that everyone else abides by, you bring damage to yourself
and to others. That, by definition, is stupidity. Because you bring in an economic loss to yourself and the other people around you. No one gains. Well, the rules of the road are being disregarded because there's no safeguards and there's no policemen around that I've seen. The last couple of years, I've seen less and less police officers unless something really happens. I used to see them in my neighborhood, and we used to be, talk, and they used to come around. But not anymore, and people are driving crazy. People are driving crazy, and they're not following the rules of the road, and there's no consequence.
I was in Blue Hills not too long ago, and people just blowing stop signs.
Yeah.
Just like reckless disregard. I mean, not even slow down.
No, and you stop, they go right around you.
Right.
Right around you.
Right around you into the. It's not like this is a highway. This is a residential neighborhood, and you stop at the stop sign. The car behind, they go around you like you're on the highway.
Yep.
And the only reason there's no accidents is because there's no traffic coming this way.
That's right.
And it's almost like Russian roulette.
That's right. Albany Avenue is the same way. Albany Avenue going to West Hartford. Oh my gosh, they don't stop. You know that hill? You go up this hill where Prospect is. One lane turns
to Bloomfield
left,
Avenue,
and the other one goes straight up to Bishop's Corner. Goes straight. Okay. Now the traffic goes so fast, and I'm a moderate driver, and so I'm up the hill. Someone doesn't like it that's behind me, and when I cross this intersection, I'm gonna get into the left lane because I got the first turn. They're coming up. They're supposed to turn. They don't turn. I'm crossing into the left lane, and they're shooting by me. So you always have to look when you're on that hill where Prospect. You always have to, before you change it, you always have to look to see if any fool is coming up behind you and shooting straight ahead because they're tired of waiting. I've seen it happen so many times. It wasn't always me that was going slow, but I have seen that happen so many times and so many times. Near accidents happen going on Albany Avenue toward West Hartford and in West Hartford because everybody goes so fast.
Everyone goes fast. I have a notoriously underpowered car. It's an old car. It's a 1992 Mercedes 300D. It's a diesel. It's a heavy car. It's old, but it moves at the speed that the highways were designed for cars back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and even now, because the rules of the road really have not changed. The on-ramps were designed for cars that went a maximum of 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, but the thing that has changed is that when you're coming up a ramp, you used to have to stop and wait for an opening to go into traffic. But now
you merge with the traffic.
You merge because they have this lane that dies out, so you don't stop. And so that car knows that you have to get into that lane. And usually people will either speed up to get ahead of you so you can get in that lane, or they'll slow down so you could get in that lane. But
those are rules. Those are the rules of the road. But my car moves. It gets up to 60, but it's not one of these newer fancy cars that get up to 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or 5 seconds. I'm breaking 30 at 5 seconds. Cars are behind me. You can see the fury in the eyes of the person behind me in the rearview mirror. I'm like, I'm going as fast as I can, which is the speed limit for the on-ramp.
Right.
And by the time I get where I'm supposed to be, I'm going the posted mile an hour. But people are going 80, 85. They almost want to pass me on the on-ramp. As soon as I get on, they're not going to let me merge. They're going to come around and pass me.
Yeah.
And so, everyone's impatient. They want what they want when they want it.
And
how
all those
they want
people
it.
are not. It's not an emergency.
It's absolutely not an emergency.
Most
because,
people, they're not going through any
right,
emergency.
they're down the road at the stop sign or at the next exit when you get off. There they are.
They're right there. Yeah.
So, well, such is life. Did you see about electric bills? The electricity doubled. They're put in for an electric rate increase.
Got it.
Well, it hasn't gone through yet, but it will more than likely go through because the only reason it wouldn't go through is if these were unjustifiable additional costs to the electric company. But everything's gone up. So, of course, your heating oil's going up. The cost of electricity's going up.
Yeah.
And, of course, for all you folk out there with the new fancy electric cars, it's going to cost you a whole lot more to power your car up. You plug that thing in, so we have these prices going out of the roof. I mean, I'm stunned
And the food.
at what you get for groceries.
Yes. $80 and you don't even have a full bag.
It's amazing.
Stop and Shop had a sign up near the eggs a couple of weeks ago apologizing for the increase in the cost of eggs, saying it's not our fault. It's not us. It's not our fault, because eggs had gone up so much. And I'm not changing. I'm still gonna. I just buy less of it, and because I eat organic, on the most part, or if I'm eating an animal, I want to know that he wasn't tortured to death, and then he ate grass and he was happy up to the time he died.
He didn't even know they were going to kill him. They killed him. They killed him unexpectedly, because the animal has. Can you imagine? Because you're eating the fear.
That's right.
And then all of
get that. You get that. And animals are not stupid. Do you think that I don't go to that butcher shop up there on Granby Street, because those animals know something ain't right. Something's not right here.
Hearing the screams of death.
And you eat this, you would not think that this was true. But they say it is true. That nervousness and that fear of that animal is, you're eating that.
Well, I don't know enough about that topic. I just don't know. But it would seem reasonable to start with the idea, the research with the idea, the notion that if the animal is fearful and all of that adrenaline and anger and rage and fear is in the animal when it dies, and you eat the animal, maybe there's a correlation between the violence and the death and the fear that we're experiencing out on the streets these days. Stick and stay, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Morning Talk.
Hi, my name is Marisha Garcia. I am from Brazil. I help HPU. I help families de Universidade de Harvard Community. Estou muito feliz em participar. É muito importante o engajamento deles padres e madres nas escolas de Hartford com seus ninhos, my children. I love helping family e HPU. Thank you. Gracias. Obrigado.
Every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their charity. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now, more than ever, you need to make your vote count. Declare your independence from the plantation of party politics and free your political mind.
Hi,
My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Okay, my friends, welcome back. J. Stan McCauley along with Talk Champion Cleo Duke-Wright in the house. I found something during the break. What is that going out of focus? About the about animals. Now this is PETA. There were a couple different resources, but People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA. Most people have heard of this group, so I figured, well, let me read what they have. On today's farms, animals used for food are crammed by the thousands into filthy, windowless sheds, or stuffed into wire cages, metal crates, and other torturous devices. Billions of fish, along with non-target animals, including sharks, sea turtles, birds, seals, whales, are caught each year by commercial fishing industry. Animals used for food will never raise their families, root around in the soil, build nests, do anything else that's natural and important to them. Most won't even feel the warmth of the sun on their backs or breathe fresh air until the day they are loaded onto trucks and headed to slaughter. So, of course, PETA is extremely against animals being used for food. In fact, I have a picture here that, animals are not food, but animals are food. So, more than 29 million cows suffer and die in the meat and dairy industry every year. Mm-hmm. In the United States, approximately 9 billion chickens are killed for their flesh each year, and 305 million hens are used for their eggs. Of the millions of pigs killed every year for food, more than 1 million die annually just during transportation or transport to the slaughterhouse. And at least 40,000 have sustained injuries by the time they arrive. Now that's pretty horrible. You're being transported for food, and your legs slip down in the grate or they break, and you're just in pain that whole time.
And they still gonna kill you and use you for
They're
food.
still gonna use you for food because they're not gonna let So there's no, So
when did this start? When did we become so inhuman and so unfeeling that we treated animals the way we treat? Have this been like forever? Or was this still going on 70 years ago? And I guess it was. How we treat animals and it is just so terrible.
It is terrible. They say that if you mistreat animals, you're much more likely to mistreat a human being. There's people who do horrible things to cats and dogs and other domesticated creatures, and then folks who do awful things to people generally are doing awful things to animals. So if we see, like, when you see me, what do you see? So when you see a cow, do you see a living being, or do you see, steak, hamburger?
Well, I never looked at a cow and thought hamburger or steak. Oh no, I can't imagine
side of
someone,
beef.
I have
Tenderloins.
No, I have 2 cats.
Pot roast.
And I can't. I would be so upset if someone treated them. I really have one. I'm babysitting for the other, but That's such a horrible thing, especially when animals love you unconditionally. If you have a dog or a cat, they love you unconditionally,
Mm-hmm.
and they're always there for you. Well, how could you even think of treating them badly?
People, unfortunately,
I know they do.
unfortunately, they do. This is the Asian Australian Journal of Animal Science. Effects of stress during slaughter on carcasses or on carcass characteristics and meat quality in tropical beef cattle. The study aimed to determine the effects of stress during slaughter on beef cattle on psychological parameters, quality of meat at a federal inspection type slaughterhouse located in southeast of Mexico. Then this is a study, the results of the study. 81% of the carcasses showed at least one bruise. One bruise was detected in 36.6%. Two bruises on 27% of the animals. Of the 750 bruises found, 69.2% of the bruises were grade A in region 3 of the 448 carcasses studied. Yeah, this gets all into all kinds of deepness here. Conclusion. The bruise is probably caused by stress-inducing situations triggered DFD meat.
What's that?
I'm looking backwards over something I skipped to figure out what that is. I don't know. I'm sure it's an acronym for something.
Well, that's why the chicken doesn't taste as good as it did when I was a kid. No hamburger.
Mm-hmm. It's all tough, stressed out, no flavor. It's filled with fear.
Because
pain, horrible.
You wouldn't think you would remember the taste of chicken when you were a kid, but I remember the taste of chicken. And chicken does not taste the same. Hamburger does not taste the same.
Well, you saw those numbers from PETA. 305 million? What was it? Here it is. 29 million cows suffer and die in the meat industry every year. So 29 million cows are used for meat. 305 million hens are used just for eggs. 9 billion chickens are killed. That's a lot of chicken. 9 billion chickens.
Mm-hmm.
So, these things are genetically modified. Then chickens don't look like that. That's not what chickens look like. Well, obviously chickens do look like that because that's what we see. But if you see natural chickens, they're not white.
They're not white?
No. They're brown and they're different colors and they have different colored feathers. The chickens we eat are genetically modified and all kinds of other stuff. They're fed all kinds of hormones and stuff is put in the feed. I don't know how they could possibly taste like they used to because none of that stuff used to be in your chicken.
Right.
Hormones, and then people's minds are being affected. It could be that what we see, particularly in this country, is the result of the food that we're eating.
It could be.
I don't know that it is. I'm not an expert. I don't play one on television. But it seems reasonable place to start the research with, are we being affected by the food that we eat?
That is a very, very good question, I think. That should be researched because I think...
And you eat organic food, right?
Yes, I do. Whenever I can, I eat organic. And if I'm gonna buy something, I try any kind of meat. I try to buy it where they're grass fed, and I have this nice feeling that they that they were, out to pasture and all of this stuff. Because just the thought of what you just read, I would probably never eat a piece of meat. I bought turkey parts, very expensive, and I bought turkey legs.
Mm-hmm.
The turkey legs about that long. I never saw a turkey leg that short in my life. Turkey legs, you should be able to get turkey legs in the store. Turkey legs are pretty big, but these are just, little things. And
Small turkeys.
What's a small?
Turkeys are big. I don't know if you've ever seen a turkey, wild turkey. You go up to Avon Mountain up by the reservoir and you walk on those trails.
The
Turkeys
legs
flying
big,
through
but
the air.
these are
They're
little
huge.
things like this. Yeah, they're killing us.
Well, you are, as they say.
They're gonna keep us alive so they can live the high life, but we're gonna be.
You are what you eat.
Yep.
You are what you eat. And so, of course, this is, some of the rationale and the logic behind what people want, in what they call the food deserts, where people, where is the good supermarket in your neighborhood that has this quality food?
Where is it? Whole Foods? Is it Whole Foods?
Well, Whole Foods is not in most black urban neighborhoods.
Right.
That doesn't mean that black people can't go out of the neighborhood to buy the food, but they're not. They're not.
Or
they're
is
not
it
there.
the corner store? Is it the corner store? Because the corner stores have things that the big stores do not have,
That's true.
and they package things.
We'll be right back. Stick and stay.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
You are what you eat. That is absolutely undeniable. You are
What you eat.
what you eat. So be careful what you put in your mouth and what you consume, because you are the food you eat. If you don't eat good food,
Look at all the children that are growing up and developing too fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the food they eat.
I think it's the food. I know we have one of these little children, and she's 11. Yeah, she's 11. She'll be 12 in February. I have to go out with her to school.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Charlene turned into a little woman.
A little woman, and when she opens her mouth, she knows she's just a little child.
Oh my goodness. It's so strange watching her because she's full 11. She acts like a little 11-year-old. It sometimes is odd because she looks older, so you are expecting her to act older.
That's what happened.
We blame it on the chicken nuggets.
Oh, you did? You take away the chicken nuggets?
She's eating the chicken nuggets made her develop much faster.
Cut out the fast foods.
Well, they are fast foods, but yeah, they were bought in the bag and cooked at home. But even still, something is in the food.
Yes.
Something's in the food. This is a picture of Cleo. Can you see yourself?
Who is that?
That's you.
Oh, yeah, I see me.
Although this is very sharp and clear. It's out of focus on when I hold it up.
Why do you have a picture of me on your phone?
This was sent to us by one of our viewers.
A picture of me?
A picture of you on their 32-inch TV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Roku. You're being broadcast onto the Roku. That's interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's you on the big screen.
Oh, they said. Oh, I'm flattered. I'm flattered. I'm on the big screen.
Yeah.
Because people always, sometimes they say, "Well, where can we see you? Are you on the television? What station?" And I keep telling them it's internet TV.
Mm-hmm.
You can see me on internet TV. I don't know if they ever. I'm getting better at passing out cards.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little. I'm passing out our cards. I'm passing out prayer cards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little better at doing that, especially around my neighborhood. I got, you have to interact. I said, I saw this young woman. She was sniffing something, or she was doing something. She was like popping something open or doing something. She kept doing her hands like this and putting it up to her mouth and covering herself up. So I said, that must be something she should not be doing, just by the way she's acting.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what can I say to that? What can I say? What can I do? Well, how can I help this young woman? And she was just walking back and forth, doing this, opening whatever she was opening. And I said, oh, God, what can I do? Can I just go up and say, you know what? Jesus loves you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it, but I didn't say it. See, I got to get that. That really bothers me. It really bothers me, that I don't do more of that. But I am starting to do more of it. I'm pushing myself. The young man who died on the sidewalk underneath my window, and I prayed for him.
Mm-hmm.
But now I didn't even think, because he was moving around. I never thought he would die, but he died. And I said, Cleo, that's where you should have been, downstairs. So I'm pushing. I think God's pushing me to do a little bit more than I'm doing, besides standing around talking to them and telling them I'm praying for you, and but I could ask them you want to pray or something, because they interact with me. They come to, and that's my chance.
Yes.
That's my chance. That's my chance to say something or do something, and so I'm being prepared to do that. Maybe that's why I'm not finding this house. I'm supposed to be right here. I don't know.
You can't escape. Can't get away. Can't get out.
Right.
Try and leave.
I can't. This young man, helped me with my bags the other day. He said, "Oh, Mom, come on. Let me help you with your bags." And I said, "I got it." He said, No, I'm going to help you with your bag. And so he took my bags upstairs for me. He put them down. And then he said, "I'm going to take this box out." I said, "And put it down." I said, "Good. Do that for me." All right. So the next morning I got up. There was and I went out in my house and he went downstairs. There was a cardboard in my door to keep it open. So I don't know whether he spent the night in the hallway or not, but he can't spend the whole night in the hallway.
Right.
So we made sure that the door was closed. I didn't approach him about it. But we made sure the door was closed because who knows who he's inviting in.
Right.
The hallway.
Right.
And then one day I thought, that's not, who's going to put a spoon? There was a spoon on the floor. It wasn't our spoon. There's someone probably propped open the door and came in during the night. So now we have to make sure the door is tight.
You do have to do that. I mean, we've had people just come by the house and just ring the doorbell. Can I help you? Yeah, I just need like $7. One guy needed $7.13. I had to hold back from laughing. So who needs $7.13? Is that supposed to get me to give you just $7 or $8? It's just an odd number. So, he said he needed to get his diabetic medication at the CVS around the corner. This and the third. And I said, oh my goodness. All right.
He doesn't have to pay.
Hold on right here. I'll get you some. So I gave him like $8. The next day,
he came right back?
Came back. He says, I hate to come by here again, but, I really, really, once again, I'm coming short up on my medication money. And so, if you could just help me out with $10. I said, I can't help you. What do you mean? What about $5? I can't help you. He got mad at me. He got mad at me. He cussed me out under his breath and walked off. He was stunned and couldn't believe that I wouldn't give him $5. So you're not gonna come by here every day
asking me for money
and ask me for money. That's not gonna work.
But his common sense did not tell him that, did it?
Well, he hasn't been back.
I mean, the first time.
Well, it's always if it works for you, fine. So his job is to knock on doors and ask people for money. It's getting cold, can't stand on the corner. And I'm not making light of this because we have every place you go, just about folks is looking for folks. They're hiring, unless of course you're in the tech industry. But other than that, most people are hiring.
That's right. Everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go.
That's right. If you want a job, you can get a job.
You can get a job, right? So they need revenue, but they're either unemployable, don't want to work, can't work, or something else. But I'm not giving them money. And in fact, the city of Hartford has posted all over the places, or all over the place, in several places. Something is absolutely in my eye. It feels like there's a tiny needle lodged in the corner of my eye. It's poking me up and down. But I digress. Like at the gas station over here, do not give money to panhandlers. The city of Hartford has a whole department and areas that will help people. Direct them. I mean, it's literally posted. And the city does have available resources. So
nobody in Hartford has to go hungry.
No one.
Absolutely nobody.
Absolutely no one. So it's not really, it's about the hustle. They're hustling you about. I've given money. I've given thousands of dollars to people over the years, thousands and thousands of dollars to folk that are in need. But you are not coming past the house, knocking on the door, creating some sort of bond where I'm supposed to help you out. No, that's the line. That's like, call me cold-blooded, but that's the line. That's the line.
Well, I wouldn't have gave him the first $7.13, but I would. You always need information. We should all have information on where people could go get help.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come to the door or when you see them on the street, you could say, you can go over here and do something, or you can do this, or tell them what they could do to help themselves out. Every once in a while, I do give people change, but it's just changes, or maybe a couple of dollars if I have it. But I've just seen too much that there's no need. You don't need to do that. You really don't need to do that.
I never forget when I first moved to Hartford. Back when I used to be 19.
You were 19?
Once upon a time. This was a long time ago because I'm 63 now. So that was the way back machine. And so I was, someone needed a ride. I was downtown. I think I had a rental car or something like that because I didn't buy a car for many years because the insurance was so high for males in Hartford under 25 that the price, the insurance was more than the car payment. So I rented a car every weekend. I took public transportation to work, so I didn't need the car except for on the weekend. So it's cheaper for me to just rent a car. And with my Pratt and Whitney discount, the car was $23 for the weekend.
And they rented you a car at your age, at the age that you were?
19?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because it was.
Oh yeah, it hurts. In fact, I was there so often that they gave me like an upgrade, and it was $23. Because I had a Pratt discount too. Mm-hmm. But for $23, it was like $100 a month for my transportation on the weekend. Long story short, I gave this guy a ride. He needed a ride. Yo, man, can you help me out? I just need a quick ride just down the street. So, all right, get in. This is back when I was even dumber than I am now.
He gave him the ride.
Gave him the ride, Hey, we have a bridge over here. We have a fire sale. You want to buy the bridge? Oh, okay. So, anyhow, I take him down the street. I know where it was now. Back then, I had no idea. So we're going down North Main Street. It's like the next block, Barber Street. Then what's the next street behind Barber? Is that Nelson? That's not Nelson Street.
Well, let's see. Barber Street, Nelson Street would be one block over.
One block over.
Would be Martin Street.
It was Martin Street. Yeah, because Nelson is the side. It goes
right.
side. It crosses over Barber and Martin.
Right, it's Martin Street.
And I think Garden.
Yeah.
Down to Enfield. That's Nelson Street, I think. Kind of. Well, it's shorter than that because it jumps over. Anyhow, it was Martin Street. So I get to Martin Street. No. It wasn't Martin Street. It was Cleveland Avenue.
Oh.
I'm mixing two different separate events. The Martin Street, it was a different event.
Oh, so you're going.
I went all the way down and then up Cleveland. Down,
okay.
Way down.
Okay.
And when I got to Cleveland, it occurred to me, you are so deep into the neighborhood here, and it's like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh.
This is not like a daytime. This is like 1:30 in the morning.
Did you say get out? It's time to go.
Well, he said you can let me out here. It's just, of course, this is not just down the street, and I'm getting a little concerned because this is taking forever in my mind. Because I'm set up for down the street, but no, we're not going down the street. We're going way down the street. So he says, "Okay, I'm waiting." Then he asked me for $20. Now, $20, it's not a whole lot of money, but back then, it's a fair little piece of money. I said $20. Long story short, I gave him $20. He got out of the car, and I count myself lucky. But for the grace of God, protect babies and fools, you know. So, you know, once upon a time
what would happen if I didn't give him this $20?
That crossed my mind. That's why I gave him the $20. Excuse me. But I was.
He knew that crossed his mind too.
Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't get hurt. It was very sketchy as I look back, but you know. 20/20 hindsight is a funny thing. And so, but you know, God's grace is sufficient.
Hey, I think we've all done crazy things, you know, crazy things. Someone, I met a guy in Mott's supermarket when Mott's was on Albany Avenue.
Back when there was a Mott's, yes.
Back when there was a Mott's. And, he said, you know, there was a party, blah, 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 blah. I was young. You know, I was out of school, just got out of school. And he said, so I said, he gave me the address to the party. I said, oh, boy, I'm going to a party. I usually just go with my friends, but I was going by myself. Because usually my friends, they have all the fun, and I'm sitting in the corner. So this was good. I'm going to a party. So I'm going to this party. I get there, you know, and he meets me down, and we walk upstairs. Nobody's there. And it's dark in that. But I got out of there. I didn't get raped or anything. But I got out of there. I ran out of there. And he says, don't worry. I said, oh. I was out like a light. But what could have happened to me?
Anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened to me.
Be up in there dead.
So I got a. Never, ever did I ever tell my mother. Never did. See, you know, I used to have my mother-daughter talks, but I wasn't telling her that. But you live and learn, and God takes care of you. God takes care.
Absolutely. There's so many things that happen that we don't, understand and realize.
Oh, gosh.
But we're very, very fortunate. And so I think that, you know, when it comes to like the rules of life and the rules of living, you know, to me, there is a standard, there is a rule book, and people would do well to just pick it up every once in a while and look at that old Bible. You know, folk don't want to look at things because I think too often they feel like, you know, if I do that, somehow, you know, I'm going to be wrong or something like that. Don't think of it as being wrong. Think of it as like a roadmap to help you know where right, not like left and right, but where correct is. You know, you want a way to get back to normal, back to
where you need to be.
Where you need to be.
Where you need to be. I brought this book with me, Prayers That Avail Much. I'm sure a lot of you. I've had this book for about 30 years, but I was reading it in a doctor's office, you know, and I left it in the doctor's office. Did I tell you this before?
No.
I left it in the doctor's office, and I was so upset that I left it. I went back to the doctor's office and asked did anyone see my book? my prayer book, and they said, no, we didn't see it. And so I had lost the book. One day I was in Bloomfield.
Mm-hmm.
It was raining in that section with a group of stores at the center of town. And I was going into this store, and I looked down, and there was this book. It had been maybe a year since I left it in the doctor's office. And there was this book laying there in front of the door. I said, no, that looks like my book. And it was my book.
Wow.
Laying in front of that door, just laying there. And I couldn't believe it. I said, oh my goodness, it must be. It had to be a year or more.
Uh-huh.
And it was just laying in the rain. Right there.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's, I took that as a sign. That was amazing. But God takes care.
Absolutely. Walk by faith, not by sight, and I say these things hopefully so that somebody will, with all the trials, the tribulations, all the stress, all the worry, all of the stuff that's going on right now, people would do well to just give it a shot. Yeah, what do you got to lose? Everything else is falling apart. May as well try.
That's right.
If you tried everything else, try God.
That is right. So I hear Trump is running for president.
Oh,
and
yeah. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
Pelosi,
Nancy Pelosi
is resigning.
Well, she's going to
maybe
step down
step
from leadership roles. Claiborne is stepping down from leadership role. And I can't think of the other. There's 3 people in leadership that are not going to run for leadership positions anymore. She'll still continue to be a congresswoman representing her district. She's not resigning. She's just not going to run for office.
I didn't
leadership
hear
roles.
why she decided to do that.
I think it's clear. They lost the House. Democrats lost the House.
Oh, that's.
And, as much as is made from all of this, the Republicans gained at the last election in the House, and then they took control of the House this time. So while there was no big red wave, they've been making incremental increases. And she's putting on in time. She's served, I think, like 32 years in leadership or something like that. But she's been in leadership position for a long time. I think she was the first woman Speaker of the House.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And she's accomplished many, many, many things. And at some point, you have to sit down. Her husband was just viciously attacked.
Really?
Oh, yeah, right before the election. Someone broke into their house, broke into the house of the Speaker of the House's private residence. It's all on tape. The security apparatus that monitors her security has it on tape, but nobody was watching
the tape.
Nobody was watching the live feed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't see the guy breaking the back window out, and he went in there and they got into a fight, him and her husband, with a hammer, and he got hit, brutally attacked. They wanted her, but he wasn't. This is some crazy guy. Has a long history of being not well.
Oh, he has a mental history.
Yeah, he has mental issues. He's a known entity in the town in California and stuff like that. It's not like his first time in line for disturbing folks. drugs and acting out. He's not well. Yeah. So these kinds of things give you life-changing moments. It's like what matters most in your life. So when you lose someone when you potentially could lose someone who's very, very close to you, like your husband or your wife or something like that, it brings clarity of purpose. And like, what is all this for? And why am I fighting every day to make the changes in life so that I can enjoy? And I'm not enjoying anything. And, the pandemic did that for lots of people. It's like, what is this?
What was I doing all that time?
What am I doing? What am I doing? People have these moments of clarity and epiphanies. You spend your life working toward a time so that you can enjoy life. But you missed it out because you were working so much. Take some time, enjoy life, and smell the roses, have a cup of coffee, go say hi to your neighbor. Everything doesn't have to be contentious and a fight and everything. People want to fight on everything. No, you put the dot to the I, too close to the I. Move the dot up some. No, the dot shouldn't be up that high. Move it over to the left. I mean, people argue over the most mundane and stupidest things.
And they don't enjoy their life.
And they don't enjoy life.
And then it's gone.
Just like that.
Just like that. Yes. I
Take
have to remind
time.
myself of that sometimes. I have to remind myself.
Yeah. Take the time to enjoy what you worked so hard for before it's gone. Because it'll come unexpectedly. And then it'll be too late. Yeah, so.
Yes.
Yeah. All right there, Miss Cleo. Our time's running out. Unfortunately, it goes by very, very quickly. So Cleo Duke-Wright is here every week. Tune in and hear the wisdom and the stories that she shares with us. And you all out there, enjoy the rest of your day and have a fabulous week.
And a wonderful, no, I won't be back here before Thanksgiving, right?
Is Thanksgiving next week?
Yes, Thursday.
Oh, wow. All right. Well,
wonderful holiday. Wonderful
have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. We'll see you next time.
And don't get hurt on Black Friday. Don't all rush out there. Be careful.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I do business as Light Source Productions. I provide professional services in the area of strategic video communications. First, what we do is we help you craft your message using what I call the rule of the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. We do event documentation, content acquisition, full-scale productions, editing, and of course distribution through our social media television network. And with social media, video is more important now than it has ever been. Whether you're talking big business, small business, nonprofit, church, or just an individual. Let's say you plan you're planning an event, a wedding, whatever the case may be, but let's say a big event, but no video. And you spent all this time, all these hours to put this event on, and maybe 100, 200 people attend the event. But more important than that is that thousands could attend by watching it on social media. But of course, you don't think about this until after the event is over. You can't afford not to capture it for social media. And despite what people think, I am affordable. Give me a call. Let's plan your next video project and share it with the world on my social media television network. I promise you that you will have the attention of one person, me.